Got your energy stories for the second week of January 2022. Well, in the first one, Texas gas supplies were looking a little dodgy in the cold last week, with the first strong cold front of the year taking 20% of Permian Basin supply out of commission for a while. Supply levels were the lowest since last February's freeze. In this case, producers suffering outages due to frozen equipment and flared off gas. The Texas Railroad Commission, which regulates the industry, apparently didn't know what was happening, not exactly inspiring confidence, with a spokesperson commenting that the commission is, quote, currently evaluating available data on natural gas production during the weekend of January 1st and 2nd, unquote. Moving to New York, the state's 2022 State of the State report exhibited some aggressive sustainability goals, including a $500 million investment in offshore wind supply chain, a commitment to doubling energy storage to 6,000 megawatts by 2030, a goal of making New York one of the designated national hydrogen hubs, and an investment of $1 billion in supporting EV adoption and supporting infrastructure. So they're on the move. Meanwhile, over in China, Cummins plans to partner with Chinese state-owned oil major Sinopec to construct a 1 gigawatt hydrogen electrolyzer factory in China. The $47 million facility will start operating next year at 500 megawatts of capacity and eventually expand to a gigawatt by 2028. It will use Western polymer electrolyte membrane PEM electrolyzer technology. China has crushed its Western competitors in the alkaline electrolyzer technology on price, but it hasn't had a strong PEM presence. And PEM's more flexible, which makes it more desirable for pairing with variable wind and solar renewable resources. Now let's move to electromobility. Nikola announced 2 separate contracts last week for 100 electric trucks, one with Heniff Transportation Systems with 10 initial deliveries to be followed by 90 additional vehicles after initial deployments. Thompson Truck Centers, an element of Nikola's sales and support network, will collaborate with Nikola to offer an as-a-service approach. The second contract was signed with USA Truck, and it's also starting with initial 10 vehicles, followed by 90 over 2 years, also under an as-a-service model. Well, startup battery company Our Next Energy Battery announced it has driven an EV in Michigan for 725 miles on a single charge. The company showed off a prototype 203.7 kilowatt-hour battery retrofitted into a 2021 Tesla Model S, driven across the state at an average of 55 miles per hour. There's obviously a huge difference between a demonstration project and full commercialization, but it's another data point suggesting that today's batteries are only a temporary staging point for future tech. GM announced at the Consumer Electronics Show that its fully electric Chevy pickup, the Silverado, will be out next year with an estimated 400-mile range and a base model at $39,009, so real similar in pricing to the Ford F-150 with a little more range. So far, no information as to whether it will offer vehicle-to-building capability such as is offered by Ford's F-150. And speaking of Ford, it indicated that yet again it plans to double its 2023 F-150 Lightning production output. Originally, it was from 40,000 to 80,000. Now it's from 80 to 150. Strong demand is driving that dynamic. Also, at the 2022 Consumer Electronics Show, Wallbox Industries announced it's rolling out a second-gen bi-directional home charging station, turning EVs into emergency backup power sources for homes. EV owners can use the unit to charge and store power in vehicle batteries when rates are low, and then power their homes when prices are higher as well. And finally, in the how cool is that department, GAF Energy announced that it has already installed thousands of solar integrated roofs. Now it's come out with overlapping nailable shingles, creating a waterproof barrier that any roofing contractor can put up as fast as a regular shingle. GAF just opened a 50 megawatt facility in San Jose, California, and all the wiring is attached to the 60-inch long, 16-inch tall shingle, so that after the installing is done, the GAF Energy employee comes in and connects all the wiring and puts in the inverter. The shingles take 1 to 3 days to install on a typical roof, have a 25-year warranty, and they have mono-PERC cells having a conversion efficiency of about 23%. GAF owns about 25% of the U.S. roofing market, so there is some significant potential here to further open up the U.S. distributed solar space. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.